Over the last 4 years, I've been putting out inspirational videos and tutorials all about stained glass on social media. These have all been pre-recorded videos, and now we're taking that to the next level, and you, the creative community, can help me build it. I'm going to go out once a week live from my studio here in Leicestershire in the UK. I'll start with things like working with dipping pens, and I'll answer your questions as we go through the live stream, so you can ask anything you like about stained glass. So on the live stream, you'll have the option to type in your questions. It'll come up on the feed here, and I'll be able to answer it in real time. It's really exciting to be able to do this, and together we'll build this live stream into something that works for everybody. Well, let's do a live stream. Hello everyone, and welcome to today's live stream. This week's Q&A coming live from my studios here in Leicestershire. Fantastic to see you. Welcome to this international creative community of fellow travelers. We're on this amazing journey together to expand and explore and share this wonderful world of stained glass internationally. I can see lots of people joining in the chat today, which is brilliant. And first out at the starting blocks is Anthony Francesco 6132. Hello from North Carolina. Anthony, hello to you, a channel member. Fantastic that you're joining us today, bright and early. It is, a sunny day for you in beautiful North Carolina, 72 degrees Fahrenheit. How fantastic. How are you, Anthony? I hope you're well. Do give us your news. Let us know what you've been up to, how your weekend has been, and how your week is shaping up so far. We'd love to hear your story. We share experiences, our creative journeys together on this channel, so do share with us. And HM Fan 2010, hello, Sunny here in Ohio. I hope everyone is well. HM Fan 2010, I hope everyone is well too, and welcome to you. It is great to see you again. Two fantastic regulars to the live stream. And talking about regulars, we also have Original Pals. Good evening everyone, all the way from Switzerland. Original Pals, hello and welcome to you. Welcome on board. I hope you're well. Welcome to everybody who's joining in today. It's great to see so many people hopping onto this live stream straight away. I do hope you're well. We're in the middle of a busy week here at the studio. I'm in the middle of my 4-day masterclass, which is the first of several 4-day masterclasses that I'm running this month and next month. 4 amazing creatives are here with me from up and down this great Isle of Great Britain, and from San Francisco in California, coming all the way across to do this amazing course. And I'm really blessed that creatives from all over the world come and join these masterclasses. So more to share with you about this amazing group of creatives who are doing this 4-day masterclass. I'm taking some video and hope to be able to kind of talk with them if they feel they want to talk on camera. Not everybody wants to talk on camera by any means, but if they're feeling brave to give some impressions of what they want to learn about glass and what their creative journey is so far, I'll try and bring that to you guys. But yeah, fantastic to be in the middle of it. So yeah, welcome on board. to everybody who's joining tonight. If you're joining on Facebook, during this broadcast, it says here you can support my page by sending stars, a digital gift to help me earn money. It's basically a tip. So if you're on Facebook and you're watching live here, welcome. It's fantastic that you're here. We have a fantastic community of followers on my Facebook page. We have over 42,000 subscribers on Facebook and over 40,000 subscribers on YouTube as well. So this is a developing creative community. As I've said before, it's not about the numbers, it's about the community engagement and the fact that we are this amazing creative community who come together to share our love and passion for all things stained glass. And it's fantastic to see Petri here this evening. Welcome on board, Petri. Evening all from deepest, darkest Herefordshire. I hope you're well, Petri. Do give us your news. What are you up to? What are you working on? What's on the light table today? Are you on a design phase? Are you in between projects? If you are doing professional stained glass, any of you here on the live stream, you'll know that the road to projects is quite often up and down. It's never really a straight line of one job to the next, unless you're particularly lucky. Over periods in my creative career, I have been able to see several months ahead, maybe up to 6 months ahead, 7 months ahead. If I'm lucky, 7 months ahead worth of work. But generally speaking, I have gone over the last 40 years, probably with no more than about 3 or 4 weeks work ahead that I could see very often, and sometimes no work ahead of me at all. And that has been the case for sometimes months at a time. And I know, talking to lots of other creatives, fellow professional glass artists who have amazing portfolios, they have shallow periods as well. They have periods where there's very little work, and then there are periods when there's too much work and they're worried that they're going to be able to do it all. So it is an interesting kind of roller coaster ride if you're a professional creative and you're making a living out of stained glass, whether it's part-time or whether it's full-time. I'm sure you'll be able to kind of empathize with that kind of mindset, that you have to be prepared for the ups and downs of being a professional, whether you're busy or whether you're not. You have to kind of keep focused on doing your creative work and keep your eyes on the prize in terms of where you want to go on your creative journey. So if you are on the live stream today, do shout out and say hello. Give us your details of where people can follow you. If you have a Facebook page or an Instagram page or a website that you want to kind of trailblaze on the live stream tonight, this is a creative community for everyone where we share our journey together. So great to have you on board, Petri. Do give us your news. If you've got some interesting stuff on the light table or in the works, do let us know. And Jerry Z, another channel member, hello from sunny West Georgia. I hope everyone is well. I hope you're well, Jerry Z. Great to see you again, a regular channel member. So good that you're joining us today on the live stream, and I do hope you're well and enjoying the online course, Enamel Painting 101. It was great to hook up with you at the beginning of this month. Hello, everyone. Synergy. Oh, Ethel, welcome on board to you too, another channel member. Hello, everyone. Greetings from Bonnie, Scotland. It's raining. Is it indeed? It's raining. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, I know. The west coast of Scotland does get a lot of rain, doesn't it? We've had actually brilliant weather today. It's been really quite mild. We've had blue skies. We've all been locked in the studio with our heads down doing dipping pen work today and doing shading with oils, etc. But when I was nipping in and out between talking to the students, I could see absolutely a beautiful day out there. So yeah, spring is on its way, everyone. Spring is on its way. And Sarah, hello from Misley, Cornwall. What a great adjective, Misley. I'm presuming that's kind of like a bit damp, a bit foggy, a bit misty, perhaps. Sarah and Glass, Art and Glass. Sarah, welcome to you. It's fantastic that you're joining us today. And another regular, hi everyone, says Underwood. Hi to you too. I hope you're well. Welcome to everyone. Listen, there's no agenda for this live stream today. As I say, I've been teaching over the last couple of days, with another couple of days still to go here at the studio. So my attentions have been on providing this masterclass. So I'm really jumping onto the live stream tonight to be stimulated by you guys in the chat in terms of questions. Do ask me questions on the stream. This is a Q&A session and a sharing of information and just talking and geeking out on stained glass. So if you have any questions, or if you just want to pose, float a balloon, float an idea, float a concept, put it into the chat, because there's a great bunch of people here all loving this whole medium of stained glass, happy to be part of this creative community. I see a lot of you here as regulars, and another regular is Brian. Hello from St. Louis in the States. Brian, welcome to you. How are you? Another channel member. I love to see the channel members here. It is absolutely fantastic. If you don't know, I offer membership on my YouTube channel, which basically means that you get extra content, members only content, and you get early access to the videos and to the shorts, etc. And I have videos that are sort of behind the scenes just for my channel members. It's a little thank you to you as a channel member for supporting the channel, for making that monthly contribution to the channel. It really helps me to kind of get extra time to kind of put these contents together. If you've been following my journey over the last 4 years, possibly nearly 5 years, you know I'm leaning more and more into doing online content creation for my YouTube channel, which filters down to Facebook and filters down to Instagram as well. More and more of that, and it's becoming more and more of my sort of full-time work. I am still doing projects and public art projects and projects for churches. I've just installed one and made a little video about the conservation and repair of a tracery panel, which you may have seen. It went out on Sunday. And I've got some more work coming through the studio just now, some painted detail work and some other work to do, a series of windows to take out and conserve. So I'm still doing kind of live projects, but I'm spending a lot of my time putting together content for you, this international creative community, to give you tutorials, inspirational videos, artist interviews. I've lined up a series of artist interviews where I'm actually going down to studios to meet the artists in their studios and talk about their own work and their own creative journey, and also interviewing artists stateside via Zoom or via kind of internet calls, where we're doing the creative experience, recording their work. So there's much more content coming on stream. So the fact that you guys can support me as channel members is really, really helpful. It all helps me. It all just helps the wheels keep turning. You know what I mean? It's just really great if you're a channel member and you're supporting the work that I do. Or you can buy me a coffee, which is another way to do it, or you can send stars during this live stream here on Facebook. All of these things help a bundle. And the God Hephaestus, hello all, hello to you too. The God Hephaestus. Yeah, we I wasn't quite sure what Hephaestus was, but he's the God of creativity, isn't he? He's the God of creatives. So welcome to you. It's a privilege that you've descended down to us mere mortals today. It's fantastic to see you. Welcome on board. Hi, this is Rosie. I live in Los Angeles and I'm taking the SLG break from work. I'm taking a whatever that is, break from work. SLI slight. Oh, a slight. I'm taking a slight break from work. Rosie, welcome. Fantastic. Yeah, pull up a chair. Get yourself a coffee or a tea and a biscuit and join the chat. Welcome on board. We're here for the next hour, just chilling and chatting all things stained glass. So fantastic, Rosie, that you are joining us from Los Angeles today and taking a slight break from work. Brilliant that you're here. And the Besto Project. Hello, everyone. Hello to you too from Georgia. Absolutely brilliant. It's sunny in LA. Is it indeed, Rosie? Yawn. Is it sunny every day? Is that the trouble? It's just sunny every day. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Or maybe you're just tired. But welcome anyway. Welcome to you, Rosie. Fantastic to see you here. And Penny Mason. Whoops, let me go back. I missed Penny there. Hello from sunny Michigan. 1 hour in the video as I work. Fantastic, Penny. It's great. You can treat this like a radio station, so you don't actually even have to have the visuals on. You can just listen to the audio. So it's like a podcast, I suppose. You can be working, doing your stained glass, and just have it on in the background. You know, it's a podcast dedicated to stained glass. You know, we need something that's just for us, don't we? That there's so many podcasts out there on lots of different subjects, lots of different topics. But there's very few really on stained glass live streams weekly. So this is your fix, your weekly fix on all things stained glass. So welcome to you. It's fantastic that you're here. And Vicky, another channel member. Welcome to you. Hello, everybody from New Jersey. Let me have a drink of water. Welcome, Vicky. It's brilliant that you're here today. So guys, I have got a little video to show you guys in answer to a question that I had on the live stream last week from David Elliott. Let me just see if I can put that question up here from David. I'll come back to your other guys in chat in 1 second. Let me just post that so that then I can bring it up on the live stream. David said, this was last week, you use high heart lead to incorporate. How do you use high heart lead to incorporate a copper foil section behind clear outer glass? How do you manage the height differences to normal height adjacent cames? So lead cames are different heights. So basically there's a little video that I put out quite a few months ago on lead cames. So I'm going to show that video in a little while, in about 10 minutes, I suppose, when we're kind of half an hour into the live stream, which answers that question for David. The difference between different heights of lead. What are the different sizes of lead came? It's kind of a really good question because it's down to kind of one of the fundamentals of stained glass. You know, very often we can talk about the kind of the slightly more exotic aspects of stained glass, like enamel painting, or you know, copper ruby stains, or yellow silver stains, and firing temperatures, and all of those kind of highfalutin parts. But really, a lot of stained glass is fundamentally the craft skills, and these kind of questions, like the question David put up here, tell us about different sized leads. You know, how do you use leads? These are great questions. So if you have questions like this that you think, or maybe this is a very sort of straightforward question, I shouldn't be asking it, please ask it, because these kind of questions, I'm very happy to kind of go over the fundamentals of the craft, how to solder, you know, how to use leads, how to use different size leads, you know, all of those kind of fundamentals of the craft skills, the basic craft skills of making stained glass. You know, I'm here to answer those questions, as well as I say, questions about design or aesthetics or the history of glass and all of those other things. It's, you know, it's the fundamentals again. So if you're new to stained glass, or if you're just stumbling on this live stream and you're not quite sure what it's all about, it is all about stained glass. Whether you're brand new to stained glass, or whether you just have an interest in it or passing interest, this is what this live stream is all about. My name's Derek. I'm a professional stained glass artist, and I've been making stained glass windows for the past 40 years. And I'm dedicating my time now, and have been for the last few years, to teaching the next generation of fellow creatives all about stained glass. And there are quite a few professional glass artists who are here on the stream today who can also answer your questions. So just, you know, feel free to ask your questions. We're here for the next hour to help you along in your journey. Brian, you say it's 83 degrees Fahrenheit, 28.5 today. Spring is here early. My goodness. That's in our world here in the UK, 28.5 degrees is a really nice, toasty, warm temperature. I suppose my ideal temperature would be about 25 degrees centigrade, but brilliant. 28.5 degrees today, Brian. Fantastic. I hope you're having a good day. Do give us your news when you have at the moment to do that. Oh, and Original says, hit that like button, folks, for the community algorithm as well as for our host, Derek. Original, thanks so much for that. Yeah, just a little reminder, guys. Do hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. It's free to subscribe to my YouTube channel. It just tells the sort of algorithm that there is a creative community who's interested in this type of work, and it really just puts the word into that algorithm that, you know, there are people here who want to talk about stained glass and learn about stained glass. So hitting that like button, subscribing to the channel, it does help. It really helps just spread the word. So Original Pels, thanks so much for just giving me a little prompt to mention that. And Patsy Posey, hello to you. You've been here on a few live streams. Welcome to you. It's fantastic, Patsy, that you're joining us today. We have here, I've just Mayhabita 159 says, I've just finished a project and would love to know how easy it is to make a light box to display the piece without it being in a window. Not sure what the right word is. Yeah, a light box is absolutely the right word. Great question. Absolutely fantastic question. So you have a variety of different options for displaying stained glass. If you want to display it without it being in a window, you can put it into a little frame. So there are a number of little box frames available on the internet that you can buy, which are sort of freestanding box frames. In fact, I'll grab one in a second and just show you what I mean. And it's basically something that you can stand on a shelf and display a stained glass design freestanding. It does need a certain amount of ambient light behind, so you could put it up against a wall that maybe has a light flooding up the back wall, something like that, because stained glass does need to have some light passing through the membrane of the glass in order to illuminate the colors. The other method is to use artificial light. So the easiest thing to use is LED light pads. Now, you can buy them, again, on the internet from about, I want to say something like A4 size. If you go onto Amazon or other places like that, if you have a look on my YouTube channel, you'll see I've got an Amazon shop. And on that Amazon shop, I basically make an aggregate of all of the things that are available on Amazon anyway, but I just bring them into one place, and it's called a shop. But essentially, it's just a list of other people who are selling items. So you can go on there and you will find links to LED light pads. Now, that's a really good way of illuminating using low voltage LED light pads, because it doesn't give out any heat. So you can put glass up against it without fear of it heating up. It's very low voltage, so you're not going to be using a lot of voltage doing that. That would probably be the thing that I would suggest if you want to display your stained glass. You may then have to make some kind of mounting or some kind of frame in which to hold your stained glass in front of the LED pad. But those are the two main ways to do it. The other way to do it is to have a little plinth which would hold your stained glass. In fact, as I'm answering this question, I'm going to put you guys onto back in a minute screen just for 1 second, and I'm going to grab a frame to show you what I mean. I'm also going to bring up a stand, a freestand stand, which can be used to display stained glass. So back in a minute, guys. Back again. So this is the first, which is basically, can you see this block here, which is a wooden block, which has got little clasps in it, which you screw up from behind. There's little winding screws. You can get these on the internet, and you can display your stained glass this way. So you get them in different sizes. You get them in lots of different types of wood as well. I'll try and find a way to leave a link somewhere along the line. I don't know if anybody's in chat today who can find a link to these kind of plinths that are available on the internet. But if you can find a link, guys, pop that link down in chat so that everybody can see it. But this is one way to display stained glass, which is entirely freestanding, and you can give it as a gift. You can put it, you know, on a shelf. It dismantles into kind of like a flat pack that you can send to people. So it's a really nice way of displaying stained glass as a single pane, a painted piece, or it would work for a leaded glass window or a stained glass window as well. Different shapes. Imagine one with an arch shape or the shape of a lancet coming to a point. You know, you could do, or even a circle. You know, there are lots of different stands available, and certainly here in the UK, you can the makers who make these make them in an ellipsis shape as well for circular pieces of glass. So this is one of the methods, which is a really nice way. It doesn't require any electricity, obviously, and it's a freestanding piece. The other method that I was kind of trying to describe is sort of this. So you've got a freestanding frame. So again, it's not particularly well illuminated just now because we're in a darkened space. Let me put it on the light table so you can see it here. Full screen. Oh, where are we going? What's happened to my full screen? 1 second, guys. Let me just. Doesn't seem to be working. Come on. I don't know what's happened to my full screen. It was working a minute ago, but it's obviously not working now. Are we working, guys? No, we're not working. I don't know what's happened to it. But anyway, yeah. I should have tested it before I came on stream. But anyway, yeah, these little, so they're frames from the back, and you can clip stained glass into the back. So they can, because they're sort of quite thick, you can again make them freestanding. So this is another great way of displaying stained glass. If you don't want to hang it in front of a window, you can put it into a frame like this. I don't really know why my light pad isn't working. I wish I knew, but I don't. Yeah. But this is definitely one of the ways you can display your stained glass. Let me come back to full screen. Yeah, we got a little bit of a gremlin in the work today. But yeah, thank you for that question. I hope those two suggestions are helpful for you. Cheryl May from Canada. Cheryl, welcome. Thank you so much. You're on Facebook. Thank you so much for joining us on Facebook today. It's brilliant to see you here. Welcome on board all the way from Canada. How fantastic. Which part of Canada? Which part of Canada are you in? It's great that you're here. And Joe Mumford, good evening, Joe, Seaview Studios. And our fellow glass artist, Joe, it's fantastic that you're here. How are you? I do hope you're well. I'm loving your posts on social media. It's great to see you're doing some fantastic work. Good evening to you, Joe. Brilliant that you're here tonight. I hope you're well. Do send us your news in chat. Let us know what you're working on. What projects have you got on the light table today? It would be great to hear from you. Hi from Kathy, who is doing the masterclass. Hey, Kathy. Fantastic. Fantastic. You're one of our students. We were talking earlier on today. Fantastic, Kathy. Fantastic to see you. And welcome to join the live stream. I didn't know whether I tired you out at the end of the day. We do have quite intensive days, and I know everybody goes home quite kind of like their heads are buzzing. And I imagine you sort of thinking, oh my goodness, I'm going to have to sit down in a quiet room. But it's great that you're joining us for the live stream today, Kathy. Fantastic. And yeah, really appreciate your support. Absolutely wonderful. Petri just finished a fused glass and metal sculpture for an upcoming Easter exhibition. It's a glass and copper crown of thorns. How brilliant, Petri. How brilliant. Yeah, a fused glass and metal sculpture. Yeah, I think I saw on social media, was that the exhibition you've been posting about, that you've been accepted into that exhibition? That is fantastic, Petri. Brilliant to hear that you are busy working off for an upcoming exhibition. Absolutely fantastic. Can't wait to see you soon. Hopefully I'll get that chance to come down and see you sometime very soon. Thunderwood Underwood, saw that on Facebook today. It's brilliant. Okay, I don't quite know what we're referring to there, but whatever you saw on Facebook today, I'm glad it was brilliant. Tell us, Thunderwood Underwood, what it was. I'm not quite sure what that's referring to. Oh yes, it's referring to Petrie's piece. Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Yeah, wonderful. I'll have to have a look at that. I haven't really been on Facebook today, Petrie, so I do apologise that I'm not entirely up to speed, but I'll have a little look. I'll have a little look to see your post if you've recently posted on there today. Yeah, Brian, absolutely agree. Absolutely amazing work from Petrie Anderson. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what it is, Petrie. I haven't seen this latest post, but I'm really looking forward to seeing it. Most welcome, Petrie. It caused an intake of breath. Oh my goodness, guys, I haven't seen this yet. I'm dying to see what it is, Petrie. So fantastic. Yeah, looking forward to having a look at that post and seeing what your latest creation is. Hephaestus says hello from Mount Olympus. How wonderful. How wonderful. Fabulous, fabulous, fabulous. Brian says slight in the States means we in the UK. Okay, mean a slight. Yeah, it means we in the UK. Yeah, we is small, so slight is small. Okay, yeah, cool. Anthony says, Petrie, I think your work is exceptional. Fantastic artistry. I admire your work very much. Here, Anthony. Here. Yeah, Petrie's work is fantastic. And we're here to support all of our creatives. You know, we're here to kind of shout to the rooftops and celebrate our creative industry, you know? To tell the world that the world needs stained glass, and it needs stained glass artists. It needs all creatives, especially makers. You know, if you're making with your hands, whether it's stained glass or whether it's pottery or, you know, woodwork or sculptured stone or metalwork or music or poetry or filmmaking or fashion, all of those analog skills, we need those in the world. As we're, you know, I'm putting out quite a few posts at the moment talking about AI, because AI really is thundering towards us and overtaking us like this amazing tsunami of slop. You know, this AI slop that we see everywhere. It's so difficult to tell the difference between a real person and an AI artificial bot. And I read yesterday about X. Something like 67% of all the posts on X are bots, artificial bots that are just posting. So, you know, we need to keep it real, guys. We need to have real engagement like this on live streams where we've got real people talking to one another in real time and celebrating the work of artists again in real time. So let's come back to this question from David Elliott. I'm going to play this video now. It's about a 7-minute video which answers this particular question from David Elliott on the live stream last week. If you use high heart lead to incorporate a copper foil section behind clear outer glass, how do you manage the height differences with normal height adjacent cames? So by way of answering that question, here is a short tutorial video for you guys. As I say, it's about 7 minutes long, giving you a little bit of background information on lead cames, the different heights and sizes of lead cames. Stay with us, because we'll come straight back to the live stream and answer more of your questions immediately after this demo. So let me play it for you now. Today's tutorial is all about lead profiles and how to use them when making traditional stained glass windows. I often get asked questions by makers who are perhaps using copper foil to make stained glass work, but they want to transition to making panels that are waterproof, and you really have to use lead in order to make that happen. And there's a lot of questions around sort of what types of lead to use, the different sizes, and when you should use the appropriate different leads. So this video really addresses those questions and shows you the different profiles that are available and how to use them best. Let's turn our attention to lead and the different range of profiles that are available when making stained glass windows. Again, if you are new to making stained glass windows, you may not realize that lead comes in a wide range of sizes and profiles. This is because glass is not all of the same thickness, and some leads need to be wider to wrap around thick pieces of glass, and some leads need to be smaller and thinner to wrap around thinner pieces of glass. Also, the lead line that you make a stained glass window with is an intrinsic part of the design, and you may want that lead to be thick and bold, or you may want it to be very fine and wafer thin. Whichever suits your design style, there will be a lead profile to accommodate that. So let's have a look at some of the ranges of LEDs that I have here in my studio. So there are two types of LED profiles to bear in mind. As we know, LED is made in an H section, and there is a top leaf of LED and a bottom leaf of LED. That top leaf and bottom leaf can either be entirely flat or can be slightly rounded. What's the difference? It really only is an aesthetic difference. I have a selection of round LED and flat LED to show you. Let's start with the smallest LED that's usually available. This LED here, 1/8 of an inch wide. This is called 3mm narrow heart LED. What does that mean? Well, the heart of the LED, which is the center section of here, is only 3mm in width. That would accommodate particularly thin pieces of glass. So for example, if you're doing a very detailed stained glass window, a Tiffany style window for example, with very delicate petals, you don't want big thick lead lines running around those delicate petals. You want thin as possible to run around your glass. So using an 1/8 of an inch LED section would be ideal for very delicate work. Moving up, we have a round-hearted version of the same LED. Again, 3mm, which is generally considered to be a narrow heart, but the profile of this one is rounded rather than flat. Next in line, we have 3/16 or 5mm round LED. And again, this is known as a standard heart LED. What's a standard heart? It's about 4 or 5mm in upstand. And as you can see here, this LED is a standard heart 4mm LED. Again, very useful for delicate work where you don't want a particularly strong or bold outline of LED around your pieces of glass. And next to our 3mm standard heart, we have a wide heart LED. So this in actual fact is 6mm high, this upstand, accommodating slightly thicker glass. As you can see here, it also happens to be a flat LED rather than a round LED in the one adjacent to it. And you can see on this particular one, this is a European LED, and it has a slight ridge at either side of our LED profile. Some of the LED profiles you can see don't have any ridges at the end, some do. It's down to manufacturing preferences. Some manufacturers create ridges at the edges of the LEDs, some don't. 1/4 inch standard heart LED, 5mm heart, 1/4 inch wide or 6mm wide. This is an all-rounder. This 1/4 inch LED is a fantastic LED for most jobs most of the time. If you want a little bit more structural strength, however, you need to go up a level from 1/4. 3/8 LED, again, is a very useful LED size. This would be the size that you'd want to use for the majority of the LED work in, for example, a front door panel. It has enough structural strength to be robust in holding a stained glass window together for a front door. Stained glass windows and front doors are subject to quite a lot of stress and strain as the door is opened and closed and sometimes slammed. So a good chunky LED like this, the 3/8 round LED in this instance, is ideal. Now our perimeter LED, or the LED that is on the outside of most stained glass windows, generally speaking, is 1/2 inch. Here is some standard 1/2 inch heart. It is 12mm wide and 5mm in heart size. Absolutely ideal for the vast majority of stained glass projects. However, if you have some thicker glass, here is a wide heart version of the 1/2 inch LED with a 7mm heart, ideal for really chunky bits of handmade antique glass. Now you can go all the way up to much wider LEDs, specific sort of specialist LEDs, and one of them is this one here, or 20mm. It's a flat LED with a standard heart at 5mm. Again, this is used in certain circumstances. When I use this 20mm wide heart LED, it's usually as a design choice. I want a particularly thick LED line to run down a section of my stained glass windows. Now we also have specialist LEDs. One of them is called Y section LED. Why is it called Y section? Well, it actually looks like the letter Y. This is a 3/8 flat lead with a Y center section. And this has been specially milled to allow stained glass windows to be put inside double glazed units. Quite often stained glass windows are rescued from period homes, and rather than discarding them, they are cleaned, re-leaded and put inside double glazed units and installed into new window systems. And Y section lead is ideal for that because it allows spacer bars on either side of a double glazed unit to grip onto the single leaf of lead here, allowing you to put a stained glass window inside a double glazed unit. So this is some of the range of lead profiles available. There are others, and sometimes you can get specially milled lead profiles made to order. If you enjoyed today's video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and consider becoming a channel member. By joining the channel, you get extra features and bonus material. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now. So there we go, guys. I do apologize about that pink shirt, by the way. That was a video I made a while ago, and I'm looking at that pink shirt thinking, that's a really, really pink shirt. Yeah, sorry about that. But hopefully that, David, answers some of the questions maybe about different size LEDs, you know, and using different size LEDs and when is the right time to use different LEDs. There are a multitude of different size LEDs available. You know, H section, as we said in the video, is the sort of standard LED size, but then you get U channel LED, you get zinc, you get Y section LED. You know, there's lots of different types of LED available, so getting familiar with it will take a little bit of time. But yeah, great question. Thank you so much for that. Lots of more questions coming in on the stream today. Thank you so much for that, Derek Inspiration. Really, really appreciate that. Cheryl on Facebook asks a question here. There's a historic church, historic in Canadian timelines that is, in my hometown that has been purchased and transformed into a house. Sadly, the new owners do not want the stained glass windows. These windows are incredible, but are massive, and I cannot figure out how we can preserve them for our community. Cheryl, what a great question. What a great question. So, yeah. There's another glass artist that often comes on here called Hugo, who's in Quebec, and he is looking at the same thing. He is looking at how to set up some way of conserving and preserving and looking after your Canadian stained glass heritage. Here in the UK, we have a thing called the Stained Glass Repository. I'm chairman of that particular charity, which is under the auspices of one of the guilds of London, one of the great guilds of London, called the Worshipful Company of Glaziers. They set up a repository quite a few years ago now, something like 42 years ago, to look after and rescue stained glass in exactly the same predicament as you are describing here in the chat, Cheryl, which is a church getting purchased by a developer who wants to turn it into a restaurant or a bar or a gymnasium or a carpet warehouse, whatever, not knowing or not caring that there's some stained glass of artistic or historic significance. So the repository was set up as a charity to persuade the Church of England, the Anglican Church principally, but also the Methodists and the Catholic Church as well, to think about donating the stained glass to the repository. The repository acquires the stained glass at no cost to the repository, stores it, and then looks for a new good home for it, usually another public facing building, usually a church. Sometimes it's a museum. We don't tend to sort of reposition stained glass so much for private use. We tend to try and get it in the public domain so that it's enjoyed by as many people as possible. In an ideal world, Cheryl, that is the best route forward, is to develop some kind of repository for stained glass, a holding place, a place where stained glass can go to and be stored and then maybe conserved and photographed and then re-advertised for a new home. And that's what we've done in the UK, and I'm part of a sort of a think tank group that meet online to people from America, people from Canada, people from Germany and Europe, also wanting to kind of use the model of a repository that was started by others long before me, very kind of forward thinking, and it's a model that other countries want to kind of reproduce. This idea of setting up a charity. It doesn't have to be a charity, but that's the model that was used here in the UK. And basically, we don't charge people. We don't sell the stained glass. We give it away, but we ask, hopefully, for some kind of donation, which keeps the light on and pays the rent, and everything else is done voluntarily. So I have a secretary, Peter Hildebrand, and myself. We do a lot of work in the background, answering emails and correspondence. Especially Peter does a lot of that work. And it's all voluntary. We do it free of charge. I go down to London 4 times a year for group meetings with various bodies who are part of the committee, and we kind of try and be good stewards of this particular charity. And we've had some successes recently. I had an article published in a conservation magazine, the iConnect, which is Icon's conservation magazine. We've had quite a few successes of actually placing stained glass back into places of worship. So it's the model I think that you should think about, and I'm happy, Cheryl, if you want to connect with me after this live stream, email me. I'll try and give you more information, where to look for more information about repositories. But that, Cheryl, I think would be the best kind of answer. I know it's a lot of work to set something up, but if you've got a target to aim for, at least you can focus your attention and the collective attention of other glass artists. If you have a community of glass artists that are like-minded about saving and conserving and preserving your Canadian stained glass history, that would be what I would recommend. Patsy Posey, a question. When I'm fixing one piece of broken glass in a leaded panel and I pry up the lead of a few sides, but when I go to push it back down onto the glass, I can't get it smooth. Any suggestions? When that video was running, I read your question, so I went downstairs and grabbed from my toolkit a couple of little tools. Can you see these? These are really simple hand tools that I use when I'm repairing on site. So essentially, I wonder if my full screen demo is working yet. Nope, still not working. Don't know why it's not working today. This is an oyster knife, a proper oyster. It's very old and very dirty because I've had it for a long time, but essentially it's just a blade. It's a blunt blade. Can you see it? With a chamfered edge like this, and that is used to prise up the lead. And as you say, you open up the one leaf of the lead so that you're exposing the heart of the lead all the way around a glass piece. Then you take out the remnants of the broken glass and you cut a new piece of glass to fit snugly into that space. And then you prise back the lead. And this is the problem you're having, is that the lead starts to crimp, doesn't it? It starts to wrinkle. That is the nature of the lead, that it is a malleable metal. It's a soft metal, and it can, if you're not very careful with it, you can stretch the lead kind of out of shape. So I think you just have to develop some kind of careful techniques of carefully prising the lead up without trying to stretch the lead, because in stretching the lead, when you push it back down, it can start to crimp. If you use a blade like this, an oyster knife, or you use a fid, this is called a fid, or sometimes it's known as a lathican, which again is simply a blade, but this blade is made of, and it's a commercially available one here in the UK that you can buy from glass shops. It's got a little pointed end that goes into the heart of the lead to open up the heart of the lead, and then it's got this blunt blade on the other side. That would also help with lifting up the heart of the lead. But the best is this oyster knife, or I imagine a screwdriver, something like that. Something that's relatively firm, that's going to allow you to just very carefully prise open the lead, trying not to stretch it. That's the key. Because once you stretch it and then you level it back down, it will start to crimp. And if it does crimp, and sometimes it's unavoidable, Patsy, simply try, after you've sealed the new piece of glass in place, that's the part that I forgot to mention, get some putty, some normal putty, blacken it down with shoe polish or a blackening agent of some description so that the putty is black, because you don't want the putty to be a natural white colour, because you see the white putty around the rim. color it down black. You usually have to wear gloves when you're doing it because it's a messy old job. And prise the putty in between the glass and the lead before folding the lead down. And then just once the putty's in place, really squash the lead down using your lathican or using your oyster knife, and that will squish all the kind of cement or the putty in between the glass and the lead and help to weatherproof that repair. That's the best way forward. That's the way we all do it if we're doing repairs on site. And the trick is to try and not stretch the lead. That's the only thing I can really suggest. Get yourself some hand tools. You probably have them already, Patsy Posey, but a little oyster knife or a fid like this. Carefully open the lead up, try not to stretch it. Use your putty and then brush it down with a dry bristle brush, usually something like a shoe polishing brush, a bristle brush to polish up the window and polish up the leads. And hopefully, your client will not be able to see the difference between the repair and the rest of the leaded window. In an ideal world, it does take practice. Like all of these things, it's easy to kind of describe what to do, but it does take time to work your way through it. So Patsy, I do hope that has answered your question. Shannon Oliver 829 says, my brother is a classically trained illustrator who attended the Art Center School of Design in Pasadena, California. Is it CA, California? I don't know. Yeah. And chartered design artist. Is it worth his switching to this area? Oh my goodness, I couldn't possibly answer that question. Shannon Oliver, I have no idea what the, whether your brother is wanting to change. Very often, if you've got a career path that you're working on, trying to kind of make an immediate change into a new area is problematic, especially if you've got dependents or mortgages to pay or bills to pay, because let's face it, making stained glass for a living is tough. Let's not sugar that pill. It is a tough thing to do, and it takes a lot of dedication, and you will not be making very much money for quite a period of time before you build up a client base and before you build up a portfolio of work and before you actually get good at what you're doing as well. To monetize it does take time. So what I suggest is, if you have a desire to kind of transition or to pivot in towards doing stained glass, start by doing a night class or start by learning it from someone else, maybe doing an online course, and see if you enjoy it, or see if your brother enjoys it, Shannon Oliver. See if your brother enjoys doing these online courses, whether it's something that he feels that he wants to do, because you've got to really love it, because you'll be doing a lot of it in order to make some money out of it. So transition slowly. Learn the craft, learn it at night school, learn it in an online course, learn it in person somewhere, and then start making your own pieces. And the easiest, the cheapest, most cost-effective way of selling your work is online through social media. So set up an Instagram page and start posting and start putting your work out there. And it takes time to develop an audience. It doesn't come to you quickly. But I see a lot of creatives selling through shops, through social media, or using social media to point to a website where you've got a shop and you can sell your work. That's free. That's an amazing resource. That I know social media can be problematic as well, but it is free at the point of use if you're a creative to put your work out there and develop a following, to develop an audience, and we're here to help you, this creative community. We're here to share and celebrate one another. So my advice would be, start by learning the craft, your brother to start learning the craft before he thinks about transitioning to this area full time. Think about it carefully and work your way up to the point where you kind of feel as if you can sort of ride both horses together and eventually transition to doing more glass work. I've helped quite a few artists over the years to do that, and it's not an easy journey. That's the main thing to tell you, but it is doable. Just because it's difficult doesn't mean to say you shouldn't try, and it's very rewarding to become a maker, especially when you fall in love with stained glass and you feel as if it's just, you don't ever really work another day in your life because you're enjoying what you're doing and you're getting paid for it. So yeah, that would be my advice. Start with the basics. Learn how to do it first of all. Find out whether your brother actually enjoys doing the work. That would be my suggestion. Kevin says, hello, I've seen in your videos you have a large light table that you work on. How do you build one of these? Kevin Beale 3343, brilliant question. Thanks so much for that, Kevin. I have a YouTube video all about that. If anybody on chat can find a link to that video, I don't have time to do it here, but if you guys can find a link to the video of how to make a light table, I had to go through the whole process, Kevin. It is an LED ceiling light that you can buy off of Amazon, which is like a down-facing ceiling light. You just turn it the other way around and you build a simple body frame to hold it. And I put toughened glass over the top, and voila, you have a light table. I got it put together by an electrician. I'm not an electrician, and you need a little bit of electronic skills to do this safely and well. And he put a dimmer switch on it as well, so you can change the brilliance of the LED light pad. And it's the most cost-effective way to do it, and they dismantle easily. So if you're doing exhibitions and shows, you can pop it into the back of your car or back of your van, you know, as a sort of broken down unit, and then assemble it on a table, on a trestle table, and you have a display cabinet to show your wares at an exhibition or a trade fair, that kind of thing. So they're really good. So Kevin, have a look on my YouTube channel. You will find on the how-to page, there's different sections of inspirational videos, podcasts and things like that. One of the links is to how-to tutorials, and you will find along the long list, there's over 800 videos there. You'll find a list. You'll find how to make an LED light table. So that will hopefully give you everything that you need to make your own LED light table. HM Fan 2010 says, I believe a backlit shadow box is called a Detracine. If you use this solution, be sure to place a diffusing layer, a translucent plastic or frosted glass between the light source and stained glass. A Detracine, yeah. So if you buy an LED light pad, it's already diffused and ready to go. But if you're using a strip light or a fluorescent light, a fluorescent tube, then yeah, putting some form of diffuser, HM Fan 2010, is absolutely right. And Original Pearls has given us a little link here, guys. I don't know if I haven't tried that link, but I'm relying on Original Pearls to come up with a good link here for feet that are display wooden cabinet, feet that you can put a stained glass design into. So check out that, guys. I'm not vouching for the reliability of that link, but have a look and see whether it is good. I'm sure that it sounds as if Norton Woodworking would be the kind of place to do it. I don't recognize that particular website, but thank you, Original Pearls, for popping on a link into chat. If you're interested in having a look at these displays that you can put stained glass into, that might be a good lead for you guys. Ontario, Cheryl, you're in on Ontario, fantastic. Well, there's a fellow traveler who comes onto this stream very often who is in Quebec, and you might be able to, if you come onto these streams regularly, Cheryl, I'm sure you will, Hugo will be on one of those streams as well, and hopefully he'll say hello, and you guys might be able to connect together, and it might be the start of something amazing in Canada. Who knows? It might be just the amazing thing. And Brian says, I made my own light table by purchasing a 2-foot by 4-foot LED ceiling panel. There you go. And then flipped it upside down on my table. It was about $40. I think Derek has a video on it. Brilliant, Brian. Yeah, that's it. That's a solution. That's a great solution. And you know, you can get them in different sizes. So I'm really glad you went ahead and made one. They're really straightforward, aren't they, Brian? Brilliant. Thank you for that. Really appreciate it. Oh, a new channel member, Shannon Oliver. Welcome to Derek's Members Club. You've just joined. Thank you so much, Shannon Oliver 829. Welcome on board. I really hope you enjoy the members videos. They're made for my members exclusively. Behind the scenes videos, early access to new videos, and lots of good stuff. So thank you so much. Thank you for supporting the channel. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Sarah says, I've just been trialing some box frames in an exhibition currently as a way of displaying the work without having to hang. Also, and I'm really pleased with the effect for both copper foil and lead. Brilliant, Sarah. Yeah. These exhibition boxes are really brilliant. Here in the UK, I buy them from a company called Hobbycraft. Now, you may get them in the States, you might get Hobbycraft in Canada, you might get it in Europe, I don't know. But if you go into Hobbycraft and you type in the search bar box frames, you get them in lots of different sizes. And they're really reasonably priced. I buy about 30 at a time, and they end up being about £2 or like $4, I suppose, per frame. And it comes with glass, and you can use the glass as well. And they're great. So we're working with them at the moment on my 4-day masterclass, and we're using these box frames to display our finished pieces. Sarah, I'm really glad that you're using these box frames as well. They are really good, aren't they? They're really, they're not expensive, they're pre-made, and they're great for displaying your own work. Arante Warren says, hi, which brand of black patina do you recommend? Thanks, watching from Qatar. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us all the way from Qatar. I hope you're well. I hope you're safe. Thank you so much for being part of the live stream today, and you're watching us on Facebook. So the black patina. So if you're using copper foil, I'm presuming that's the black patina that you're talking about. I hardly ever use copper foil, and I bought commercially available patina, black patina, and I don't really like it, if I'm absolutely honest. It's really messy stuff, and it doesn't, and I've tried it on zinc, and it doesn't really blacken down the zinc very well. I tend to kind of leave, if I'm doing copper foil work, I tend to leave the copper foil solder the natural color. Because what you can find problematically is some of the patinas, the black patinas, will lift the paint because they're acid based, and it will eat into paint, or it will eat into enamels that you might have on the painted surface. So you have to be cautious, especially if you're doing copper foil work which has painted details on it, and then you use a black patina on top. So I've been talking to artists who are now transitioning, who do amazing copper foil work with painted details, and they're transitioning away from using patina and just getting used to using copper foil and using the solder and leaving the solder its virgin color. You can use a brush, like a shoe polishing brush, a dry bristle brush, to polish down the solder, and it will eventually oxidize, and it will go a dull gray, like a gunmetal gray color. I'm not a big fan of these patinas, so I'm presuming Araneta, that is what you're asking about with regard to copper foil. If you're asking about the patina that's used to blacken down putty when you're making a repair, I tend to use a grate polish, so wood burning stoves. You can buy a black grate polish which comes in like a toothpaste tube, and instead of when you squirt it, it's white toothpaste. It's like a black oily toothpaste. And I use a little bit of that, and I mix that into my putty, and that darkens down my putty, and I pre-blacken it using that stove black polish, it's called here in the UK. So hopefully Areta, that answers your question. Do come back to us in chat if you need any more answers. Hey gang, hey Tom, welcome on board. Fantastic that you're joining us on Facebook. I hope you're well. It's great to see you here on the chat tonight. We've missed you. It's great that you're here. I hope you're well. Again, let us know what you're up to. What have you got on the light table today? Is there anything in the pipeline? You're doing some amazing work and posting it on Instagram. Queer Whimsy, guys, give Tom a follow. His tag name on Instagram is Queer Whimsy, so give him a follow, guys. Welcome, Tom. Welcome. Great to see you here. Shannon says, also, I'm in the US and we don't have access to good gas kilns. The final purchase before I can utilize the course is a kiln. What electric kilns do you recommend for US? Shannon, that's a great question. I don't know all of the available kilns in the United States. What I suggest you do is you go on to some of the Facebook group pages. One particular group page that is brilliant is called Stained Glass Painting 2.0. There's a lot of professional glass painters who are active and vocal on the chat and in comments on that particular Facebook page. It's a free page to join. You can pose the question there. You'll get an educated answer from people who are in the States who can tell you what different brands of kilns are available stateside. Anyone in the chat want to jump on and answer that question for Shannon Oliver 829? What would you recommend, guys, if you're on chat and you're in the States? What kind of electric kiln would be a great one as a beginner kiln? You know, we're not looking for like spending a massive fortune. What's a kind of like a starter kiln that would be good for Shannon to look at? Put it in the comments if you guys have any suggestions. Zippity D agreed. Well, great. I'm so glad you agreed. Welcome on board. Thank you for being part of this creative stream today. And Louise4557 says Petri is an amazing artist. Another fan. Louise Ford treble 57. Absolutely agree with you. Welcome. Thank you for joining in. Your art is indeed your art is needed in this world. Thank you for making them. Yeah, absolutely. Petri, yeah, you got a lot of fans here today. That is brilliant. Original Pal said, who says I'm not a bot? Who says indeed, Original? I've just made you a moderator a couple of weeks ago, so I certainly hope you're not a bot. I don't think so. I don't think bots can become members. So welcome, Original Pals. Yeah, thank you again. So thank you again for kind of turning up every week and being a channel member and really contributing to this community. Really, really appreciate it. Karen, hi. Katrina, hi. Katrina, it's wonderful that you're here. Katrina has joined my online course, but I've been trying to invite Katrina to our Facebook page, Stained Glass Making 101, and I can only invite you once, so I'm going to try, Katrina, to invite you. If you can follow my Facebook page, Derek Hunt Artist, I think Facebook allows me to invite followers onto that page. So that's my only second choice, is to kind of invite you as a follower. I'm not deliberately holding you out of the Facebook group, Stained Glass Making 101. It's just I can't seem to. I have sent you an invite, but obviously you're not seeing it at the moment. So Katrina says, and it's somehow half your message is getting cut off. I've been working with the Tiffany method, says Katrina, for about a year now, and I've recently started your intro to leaded stained glass class. I've made 3 panels so far, and I'm really enjoying it. Can you for putting this together? Thank you for putting this together. It's been great. I'm really glad, Katrina, that you're enjoying the course. Really appreciate your feedback. I know you already have a lot going on, but if you ever decide to offer an advanced class, I'd definitely sign up. I'd love to learn more about different leadings and cutting techniques, wrapping jewels, reinforcing panels, and some of the more advanced approaches to working with lead came that I may not know as to ask about. I have big dreams and I want to make larger panels. Brilliant suggestion, Katrina. Really appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, I think an advanced class in stained glass making is called for. These things take a long time to put together. At the beginning of this year, I just put out the Enamel Painting 101 course, which took a year to put together. So I think the next one possibly will be an advanced class in stained glass making, because that first class that you're doing is really an introduction from the ground up, as you know, to like the materials and the tools, the equipment, how to cut glass, how to be safe, so how to solder, how to lead, and the kind of the fundamentals. But I think that's a great shout out to make a more advanced course. So yeah, I'll definitely, it's in my mind to do that. So thank you, Katrina, so much for that. And I hope that we can see you on our Facebook group, stained glass making 101 sometime very soon. Joe says 3 more interesting projects following the door. Yeah, the door was a great project. That fan light plus side lights plus door panel that you posted recently on your Facebook and on your social medias, it was brilliant. Another door and a transom, 3 borrowed light panels and a bathroom door transom. I'm a bit behind as I have kiln meltdown and access issues to my studio. I've had kiln meltdown. Oh my goodness, what on earth, Joe? What's going on there? And access issues to my studio. Oh my goodness. Joe, I do hope you get that resolved soon. You've got a lot in the pipeline as well. You need to be busy, busy, busy. You don't need to have access issues to your studio or a kiln meltdown. Yeah, do tell us more if you feel like telling us. Maybe you don't, but yeah. It's great to hear you've got lots of projects on, Joe. Absolutely well deserved. You know, your work is top quality, and I'm really pleased that people are seeing that and commissioning you to do more work. So more power to your elbow. Joe goes on to say, the good news is I've found an amazing kiln engineer company here in the south of the UK. If anyone would like the contact information. Absolutely. Yeah, so you've got kiln issues. Yeah, a kiln engineering company. Yeah. Pop the details on chat, Joe. You never know, because this is going to be available on your own YouTube. So this will be as an evergreen video, so people can come back to it months and months ahead. So they'll get access to this chat, so they'll see the information on there. So if you feel like putting that information into the chat, be my guest, Joe. I'm very happy for anything stained glass related, and certainly kiln engineering companies is definitely stained glass related. Petri goes on to say, Shannon, one of my kilns which I get a lot of use out is called the Gen Ken fiber kiln. It fires fairly quickly with a 2-hour turnaround for paint temperatures. They are based in Lakeland, Florida. Fantastic, Petri. What a great shout out. And a 2-hour turnaround for an electric kiln is chef's kiss. Fantastic, because kilns are usually slower. But Petri, I've had conversations in the past with Petri about this particular fiber kiln. It seems to be the fact that it's not ceramic bricks as an insulating material, but fiber. And that seems to allow the kiln to heat up and, more importantly, to cool down quicker. So great shout out, Petri. Shannon, I hope that's of help to you. Do Google Gen-Ken fiber kilns from Lakeland, Florida. That may be a good starting point for you to do your research. Thank you, Petri, so much for coming on and adding that detail. Shannon says, thanks, Petri. Absolutely brilliant. Brian, need to sign off. Fantastic to see you, Brian. Enjoy the rest of your day. It's great that you've been part of the stream. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Everybody have a great week. And to you too, Brian, have a great week. See you in a week's time. Absolutely wonderful. Hey, says Dumbplane, if the glass wind is painted with designs, come off it, man. Can the wet wish? Yeah, no thank you. No thank you, my friend. I'll read comments, I think, before I hand them out. Shannon, I use a Gen kiln, all fiber kiln. It's not a Hoff, but it gets to the 1240 in about 35 minutes. That is absolutely brilliant. I use a Gen kiln also. It's a fiber kiln. So there's 2 shout outs for the fiber kiln. So that's giving you good food for thought. Absolutely brilliant. Okay, so do you know any model numbers, Petri? I don't know if you have a model number you can forward. And Jerry says, oh, another shout out for a Gen Ken. Jerry Z says, I have a Gen Ken and love it. It's a standard fire brick. Okay. It's very versatile. I can drape men beads in addition to general fusing and painting. Okay, we're getting a lot of love for the Gen Ken brand of kilns, which is great to hear. Super helpful. Thank you. Augustine machine, absolutely brilliant. The small fiber profuser would be a good starter kiln. So lots of great advice. Thank you so much, chat, for coming on and giving some great helpful advice. Yeah, Judas, stained glass robot. Yeah, so there's a link there. Can't vouch for that, guys. Don't know what that link is, so click on it at your own risk. Don't quite know what that is, Judas. But yeah, you're watching from Facebook. Welcome on board. Thanks for being part of the live stream today. Thank you so much for being part of it all. Amazing idea. I will look to see if we have such a repository, and if not, I will look into this model. Great stuff, Cheryl. It might be the start of a new adventure. Great, really, really great. Thanks so much for the recommendations. It's the final component of everything that I need to purchase. I have all of the glass and the tools and the brushes and the paints and the enamels and stains. Been slowly building up for 2 years, Shannon. That's so exciting. So exciting. Absolutely brilliant. So, Ross G says, I've just started out with stained glass and I'd like to add some simple details with paint, like whiskers or the registration number on a boat. What's the simplest way to start out? Any recommended products, please? So immediately what comes to mind, Ross G, is a dipping pen. Dipping pen is possibly the best solution for whiskers and for numbers and letters, small scale things. If you look on my YouTube channel, there's quite a few videos on dipping pens and the recipes for dipping pens. Getting the right dipping pen and getting the right paint recipe is the two things you've got to work out. There's lots of information on my YouTube channel. So Ross, have a look on Derek Hunt Artist, youtube.com/Derek Hunt Artist. If you're watching on, what are you watching on today? You're on my channel, you're watching on YouTube. So have a look under the tutorials, Ross. You'll find lots of information on dipping pens. That is my best advice for you. I think you'll find it's a great solution to what you're looking to do with your painted work. You're most welcome, says Jerry Z. Hephaestus says the controller is a model AF3P Pro Fusion 16. It was manufactured by Sir Ramsay Porcelain Incorporated. Wow, these are great suggestions and information to sort of do your Google research in afterwards. College in Pasadena, right near Los Angeles. Some students from there used to rent my house. My goodness me. Thanks for your insight, Hephaestus. Really appreciate it. Regarding the church to house conversion, try contacting the local historical society or the national office of the ex-church's denomination. Either of these might be interested in preserving the glass. Great shout out. HM Fan 2010. Great shout out. That is a really good suggestion. The denomination will have here in the UK we have what's called a diocese, which is basically the parish head office that looks after the churches in a particular area. And there will be people there that you can contact, and I'm sure they would really welcome your inquiry, because, you know, I'm sure that the local ex-denomination church authorities would want to preserve, I'm imagining at least that they would want to preserve, or at least have people who are interested in preserving the stained glass, especially if it's of any artistic or historic value. My brother used to rent a house around in the Pasadena, right around the corner from Aardvarks. He's graduated in 2001, went on to work in the video games industry, and the industry dried up in the USA in 2015. So maybe you're looking for a new line of work. Welcome to the channel. You've just joined as a channel member. Fantastic. Thank you so much. Melitabi 59. Welcome. I won't try and pronounce your name, but welcome. Thank you so much for becoming a channel member. Yeah, Hephaestus says, I gave up trying to use patina zinc. I tried so many things. Yeah, the patina for zinc isn't particularly successful. Right Forth Singing says, if you use car wax, it will protect the solder from tarnishing. If you don't want it to tarnish, if you don't want it to discolor, yeah, car wax definitely is a way forward. Alison Mika 1019 says hi. Hi Alison, welcome to you. Welcome on board. You're watching the live stream from YouTube today. Fantastic that you're joining. Hello and welcome. It's great to see you here. Do tell us what you're up to, Alison. If you've got any work on, or if you're just interested, I can see from your little logo here, it looks like some beautiful stained glass. So I'm imagining that you're a stained glass maker. Do let us know, Alison. It would be fantastic to get more info on what you're working on. And Ride Forth Singing says the Scut and the Paragon are excellent options for kilns as well. I'm presuming you can get the Scut and the Paragon make in the USA or in Canada. Great suggestions, Ride Forth Singing. Thank you so much. Alison, you're a first-time viewer. Welcome on board. It is brilliant that you're joining us. Welcome to this international creative community of fellow makers and glass geeks. We love stained glass. You may be a maker, you may just be interested, you may be sort of dabbling with it, or you just may be curious. Welcome to everybody who's on the stream, and if you're watching the stream on record after it's gone out live, welcome on board. We do this every week, every Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. UK time to this amazing international community. As you can see from the chat, people from all over the world join in, so it is brilliant that you're joining us, Alison, and I hope you become a regular on our live stream. Welcome on board. Ruby Slipper says, I'm painting Jesus. Of course you are. I saw the torso on your light table. Finally dabbling with the ecclesiastic. Oh my goodness. Yeah, fantastic. Well done. Yeah, I saw the torso of the Christ figure, or Christ on the cross. So yeah, how are you getting on with that? It's your figurative work is always interesting and challenging, isn't it? Getting the skin tones and getting the shading and texturizing. But do let us know progress. How's it coming along, Tom? It would be fantastic to hear more from you. Alison says thank you. You're very, very welcome. So Shannon says thank you so much for your answer, Derek. We have your online courses. Doing anything now? He's doing anything now because the games industry tanked. He isn't doing anything now because the game industry tanked. We will move forward with your courses. That is brilliant. Yeah. So the game industry. Yeah, I suppose. Isn't it weird how the game industry was bigger than the film industry? And it is actually, if you look at things like Grand Theft Auto, and it's that makes more money, I think, than the whole of the film industry put together, that one game. But I understand that it's very challenging if you're a game developer now, because I suppose it's becoming increasingly expensive to get into that line of work, and AI is taking over a lot of the work as well. So so if your brother, is it, that wants to move into stained glass, fantastic, come on board. Jump in, the water's fine. It is a challenging job, but I suppose the game industry is a challenging world as well, especially if you're creative. I think in any industry at the moment, it can be challenging. Let's face it. It's not an easy ride. Starting that online course is a great way to start. It's a really great way to start. Hephaestus says, Ruby Slippers, I have a special affinity for homunculus. Oh my goodness. Jesus in a Byzantine style. Congrats on your ecclesiastical journey. Yeah, Byzantine art is a very specific sort of art form. Early kind of Byzantine art moving into Rococo. It's beautiful. The icons in the Byzantine style is a very specific visual style and visual language. I'm not sure whether you're doing, Tom, whether it is a Byzantine and Rococo style, but yeah, it's fantastic. Hephaestus, the Byzantine style is amazing. It is absolutely amazing. Conduit One says, thank you, Derek, for all your hard work and experience. Much appreciated. You're very welcome. This is what we're here for, Conduit One. Welcome. Thank you so much for that support. Really, really appreciate it. So Joe says, unfortunately, my electric kiln malfunctioned and melted 10 detailed pieces for my latest commission. It got me on a journey to find a local engineer to help. I found the Kiln Engineer Limited. Yeah, the kiln, fantastic. Yeah, what a shame. You were in the middle of your latest project and 10 pieces were overfired, I imagine. Did they melt? Did they over melt and kind of contract to sort of 6 millimeter thick glass, little pools of glass? What a shame. I'm really glad you didn't have a fire or anything like that, because if a kiln malfunctions and, you know, it overheats, yeah, I don't know. But yeah, hopefully your Kiln Engineer Limited company, Joe, will be able to help you. They are great and work on all types of kilns. That is fantastic. So let's Google the Kiln Engineer Limited. The Kiln Engineer Limited. Yeah, great shout out, Joe. Thank you so much for that. Oh no, hope you can get it repaired. Yeah, absolutely. And catch up with your commission. What a nightmare. Yeah, it does sound like a bit of a nightmare, doesn't it? Alison says, hi. Yes, my lovely. I've been making glass Tiffany method for 25 years and fusing 10 years. And I'm based in South Devon. Fantastic, Alison. Welcome, welcome. Great. 25 years doing fusing and Tiffany work. That's absolutely fantastic. Based in South Devon, a beautiful, beautiful part of the world. It's so good that you're part of the stream, and I do hope that you can become a regular and contribute on the chat. Say hello, ask any questions. This is what we're here for. As you can see, we're all kind of joining in together for the greater good, of everyone. Sharing knowledge, sharing information to help everyone along the way. Skin tones. Oster's new green stain might be easier. Oh my goodness. Yeah, skin tones. So there's a great skin tone color that I use from the Debitus range, Tom. Debitus paints are French. You can go into their website and it's in French, but there's a little button to connect to turn it into an English translation. And there's a paint called Brun Ton Char. Brun is spelled B-R-U-N. Ton is T-O-N. And Char is C-H-A-R. Brun Ton Char is a really nice flesh tone if you paint it on very, very thinly. It's not a transparent pigment, except if you paint it on really, really thinly. Then you get a lovely kind of flesh tint. So if you are looking for skin tones, Tom, Debitus Brun Ton Char. Have a look at that. It's a really nice way forward. Also by Debitus, you've got a Jean Cousins stain, which is an iron oxide stain. It's a little bit like a silver stain. That gives you again a beautiful flesh tone. Jean Cousins, Jean as in J-E-U-N, Cousins as you would spell cousin. You can buy small quantities of that, and again, you really need a very small amount of it on the surface of the glass. Fire it in the kiln as you would a yellow silver stain, and you get a beautiful flesh tint as well. So there's 2 suggestions for you, Tom, to keep you going. Lisa says, hi, any tips on the best way to remove silicone from the window I'm repairing? Yeah, just a sharp blade, like those one-sided razor blades that you can buy, or a craft knife or a little scalpel, and very, very delicately kind of like lift the silicone off. It's a bit of a bugger, to be honest, because it sticks fast, especially if it's a painted piece. Yeah, it can be a bit of a nightmare to get off. I wouldn't use any solvents. I wouldn't use anything, because the solvents tend to melt the silicone and just turn it into a sludge. And instead of having a silicone bead to take off, you've got this horrible sludgy mess, which can stain enamels and stains and things like that. A sharp blade, Lisa McFarland 9322 is my best suggestion. Good luck with that. Yeah, it's a horrible job, isn't it, getting silicone off of glass? Aaron says, just started out in Tiffany making and using Procreate to sketch out patterns. My biggest struggle is figuring out where to place lead lines so they flow naturally. Any advice? Aaron, Procreate. Yeah, Petri is your Procreate resident expert. Petri, I don't know if you're still on the stream, but if you are, Aaron has a question for you. How do we figure out how to place our lead lines in Procreate to flow naturally? Petri, if you could answer that, that would be great. Aaron, if you can follow Petri on his Instagram page, Mongoose Stained Glass or Petri Anderson, and then you can message him directly. I'm sure Petri is very helpful and very willing to share his expertise and knowledge. He is the person to talk to about Procreate. He does amazing things with it. So Petri Anderson would be the person to talk to. Byzantine iconography is the best. Love, love, love. My Christ is more aligned with this style. Byzantine, yeah, fantastic. It is a lovely style. So maybe you need some flesh tones, Tom. Ruby Slippers. So yeah, check out those two that I referenced. Jean Cousins or the Brun Ton Char, both available from Debitus. Thanks for the tips, says Ruby Slippers. You're very, very welcome. Okay guys, it is now 10 o'clock. We've been going for an hour and a half. I'm just about to wrap up the stream today. Any last questions, quickly pop them into the stream. You guys have been super chatty tonight. I've really loved it. As I say, I didn't come on with any agenda today. I just wanted to be able to chat with you guys, to commune with you all and just sort of chew the fat. Just geek out on glass, and you've provided me with lots of inspirational content to answer you back, and hopefully it's been helpful. Hephaestus says, I've been wanting to try doing my shading layers with natural light. How do I wax a glass easel? What wax? Does it affect the firing in any way? So the traditional way that glass artists have used for centuries is beeswax mixed in with tallow candle, and you mix it in a saucepan. Obviously the saucepan, you're not using it to cook food in. It's an old saucepan that you might warm, so you can blend the beeswax and the tallow candle, and you basically pour it into kind of dots around your glass. When you lay your glass out flat on your glass easel, so it's in a horizontal position, place all your glass in the right position, then pour small amounts of this beeswax tallow candle mixture. It solidifies and goes hard, and it's a great method of holding glass in place. That's a traditional way of using it. I don't use that method. I just use either blue tack or plasticine, a product called plasticine here in the UK. I don't know whether you can access that or not, which is just basically like a Play-Doh. Play-Doh itself, the trademark Play-Doh isn't sticky enough, isn't tacky enough. Blue tack is brilliant, or plasticine. The difficulty with using plasticine is if it's a warm environment, the plasticine starts to melt and your glass can slide down your easel. So blue tack may be the solution. So there's three options for you, Hephaestus, to be using to stick your glass up onto a glass easel with natural light. Love chatting, says Alison. I'll be back. I do hope you'll join us again. Jerry Z says, see you next time. Have a great week, everyone, says HM Fan 2010. Thanks, Derek. See you next week, everyone. Thanks again, everybody, for your fantastic contributions. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, heart the live stream, do all the stuff that the algorithm likes so that we can send this information out to more and more people. We have something similar to plasticine in the USA. Yeah, so anything that's sticky and tacky, that has a little bit of rigidity to it, will support your glass, but do be careful that it's going to support your glass and your glass will not come crashing down. I have come into my studio the next day to find my glass has slipped down the easel and bits have broken off, fallen to the ground and broken. Sometimes I use sellotape overnight to kind of stick all the glass into position, or you can take your easel down from the vertical position overnight, lay it down flat so nothing slides around, and make sure that the temperature of your environment isn't too warm if you're using something like a plasticine. A wonderful thank you, says Hephaestus. A big shout out to everyone else sharing the knowledge with the creative community. Absolutely brilliant, Original Pals. And on that note, I'm going to bid you adieu. Thank you so much for joining us today on the live stream. It has been brilliant. Let's do it all again next Tuesday. Love to all. Bye for now.